On 30th of June 2014, a man named Lars Mittank from Germany went on vacation with some friends to Bulgaria. He traveled to Golden Sands, a popular seaside resort town on the Bulgarian Black Sea coast, in late June for a typical summer holiday. Upon arriving in Bulgaria, the vacation started normally, with the group checking into hotels and having fun. A couple of days into the trip, the boys decided to go to a bar. Upon arriving at the bar, Lars got into a disagreement with a group of local men over a football rivalry. Some reports suggested the altercation was about football teams, as they supported different ones. The argument escalated, and a minor physical fight occurred, during which Lars was injured and hit in the head, causing an ear rupture. The next day, after the altercation, Lars decided to go to the hospital. The doctor confirmed that his ear was seriously injured and advised against flying for a few days due to the risk of pressure changes affecting his ear. Lars's friends, who were scheduled to return on July 7th, offered to stay with him, but Lars insisted they go as planned, assuring them he would return in a couple of days. After his friends left, Lars stayed at a cheaper hotel called Hotel Color. During his stay, Lars's behavior began to change. He sounded frightened and called his mother multiple times, saying he felt unsafe and that people were following him. He also sent several texts to his mother about the situation, which made her increasingly worried. Lars remained at the hotel before his departure and was seen wandering the streets of Bulgaria at 1 a.m., looking for a taxi to a pharmacy. The next morning, Lars made his way to Varna Airport to fly back to Germany. At the airport, he visited the airport clinic, where he was given approval to fly, with the doctors confirming that he was fit to travel. However, during the consultation, Lars began to act strangely, telling the doctor he didn't want to take the prescribed medicine before abruptly leaving the clinic. He was seen on CCTV footage walking around the terminal, behaving nervously, as if he believed someone was following him. He then suddenly left his luggage behind and ran out of the airport, jogging towards nearby woods. He jumped over a fence and disappeared into the forest. An extensive search was conducted in the woods after his disappearance, but no trace of Lars was found. To this day, his case remains one of the most confusing unsolved mysteries. There has been much speculation and several theories about why Lars behaved the way he did. Some believe the medication prescribed to him may have caused unusual behavior, while others speculate the altercation at the bar led to people following him. However, nothing has been proven, and the whereabouts of Lars remain unknown. On November 2nd, 2018, Tamla, a mother of 5, attended a birthday sleepover at the home of her friend Jasmine, alongside several other mothers. The group was predominantly white, with Tamla being the only black woman present. Throughout the night, they consumed alcohol, and Tamla drank significantly. She posted updates on social media, appearing to enjoy herself and having a good time, in which would be her last images taken before her death. After these images were taken, Tamla and the group were carrying as normal, with drinking alcohol and partying, until Tamla went to take a smoke break in the back garden and was last seen by the mothers. In the morning, one of the mothers went outside to check the yard and found her lifeless body laying face flat in the backyard. The circumstances surrounding her death led to immediate confusion and concern among the attendees, as they were unsure how she ended up outside. Upon calling authorities, Tamla had suffered multiple blunt force injuries, according to authorities. However, no serious notation behind her death was ruled, and it was judged that it was an accident due to falling. There was no serious levels of alcohol in her system, however many were really confused. There are many speculations of Tamla's death, particularly in the black community, as she was the only black mother at the party, and many thought there was a deeper story to this. However, nothing was proven by the authorities and was dismissed as an accident, but many theories and speculations were raised and still remains a mystery to this day. On February 9, 2004, a woman named Maura Murray disappeared after crashing into a snowbank and seemingly vanished without a trace. Prior to this incident, Maura had been involved in a couple of car crashes, including one just 3 days earlier. She was a student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, living on campus by herself. Her professors and peers considered her a typical, unremarkable student. Before her disappearance, Maura informed her tutors that she would not be able to attend class on the day of the incident, stating she was going to a funeral due to a death in the family. She told her classmates the same story. However, according to her family, no one had passed away. Maura packed her belongings and left the campus at 3:30 p.m. in her black sedan. She was seen in surveillance footage withdrawing $280 and purchasing several bottles of alcohol. These would be the last known images of her. Maura left Amherst at 4 p.m. in her car. At 7:27 p.m., a resident heard a loud thump outside her house and saw a black sedan, which was Maura's car, crashed into a snowbank. The resident contacted the police. Shortly after, a bus driver passed by and saw Maura standing outside her vehicle, appearing emotional and distressed. He offered to help and call the police, but she begged him not to, insisting that she didn't need assistance. The bus driver continued on his way, but later called the police to report the incident. Maura then reportedly fled into the nearby woods and was never seen again. Police arrived at the scene 16 minutes after the crash, but they could not locate her. They found several half-empty bottles of alcohol scattered inside the car. Despite extensive searches in the surrounding woods, no trace of Maura was ever found. Authorities labeled the case as unsolved, and Maura Murray has never been seen again. Public speculation has suggested she may have fled into the woods to avoid legal trouble, possibly intoxicated, and became lost or met with foul play. Despite continued efforts from investigators and the public, Maura remains missing to this day, her fate a mystery. On April 1, 2006, a medical student named Brian Shaffer entered a bar and was never seen again nor seen exiting the bar. The day before the incident, classes at Ohio State University ended for spring break. That evening, Brian Shaffer and his father, Randy, celebrated with a steak dinner. Brian seemed very tired since he had been staying up late all week studying for important exams. His dad felt Brian shouldn't go out with his friend, William Clint Florence, later that night as he had planned, but didn't share his concerns with him. At 9 p.m., Brian met Clint at a bar called the Ugly Tuna Saloona in the South Campus Gateway area in Columbus. Around an hour later, Brian called his girlfriend, Alexis Wagoner, who was visiting family in Toledo before their upcoming trip to Miami. After that, Brian and Clint went bar hopping, visiting different bars, and having one shot of liquor at each place. After midnight, Brian and Clint met up with Meredith Reed, a friend of Clint's, in the Short North neighborhood. Meredith gave them a ride back to the Ugly Tuna Saloona, where they had started the night, and joined them for one more drink. While they were there, Brian wandered off on his own. The last known sighting of him was caught on a security camera outside the bar, just before 2 a.m. Clint and Meredith tried calling Brian to find him, but when they couldn't, they left the bar with the rest of the crowd when it closed at 2 a.m. They waited outside, but assumed Brian had gone home without telling them when they didn't see him. Over the weekend, Brian's girlfriend and father also tried calling him, but he didn't answer. When Brian missed the flight to Miami that he and Alexis had booked, they realized something was wrong and reported him missing to the Columbus police. Police began their search for Brian Shaffer at the Ugly Tuna Saloona, where he was last seen. Security footage showed him entering the bar and talking to two women outside around 1:55 a.m., but he wasn't seen leaving. Investigators considered that Brian might have disguised himself or left through an alternative exit leading to a construction area, but cameras from nearby bars showed no trace of him. Police searched extensively around the area, including dumpsters, streets, and even the sewer system, but found no clues. Brian's car was still parked at his apartment, and there was nothing unusual inside. Speculation arose that Brian, grieving the recent death of his mother, might have voluntarily disappeared. But none of this was proved, and Brian was never found till then.